Palak, please start now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So shall I start now? Am I visible? Yes, sir. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. A very exuberant morning to one and all present here. I, Palak Pal, third year student of Industrial Chemistry, Deshbandhu College, cordially welcome the respected teachers and the students on behalf of the Chemistry Department, Deshbandhu College. I'm elated to announce that 2021 has marked the 70th anniversary of the opening of the Deshbandhu College with all the members of the college community who feel content and celebrate the occasion through a number of events during the year. And today, Department of Chemistry, under the aegis of IQAC and DBT Star College Scheme, Deshbandhu College, is organizing a lecture of Motivational Lecture Series. With due respect, I would like to respectfully and cordially welcome respected Sir, Professor Rajiv Agarwal, the Principal of Deshbandhu College, Professor Kamal Kumar Gupta, Vice Principal of Deshbandhu College, our today's eminent speaker, Sir Professor A.K. Ganguli, Sir Professor Dionandan Kumar, the teacher in charge of Department of Chemistry, Sir Dr. I.K. Singh, Coordinator, DBT Star College Scheme, Sir Dr. Aditya Saxena, Coordinator, IQAC, Dr. Namita Gandhi, Coordinator, Chemistry Department, DBT Star College Scheme, and the program convener, Sir Dr. Umesh Kumar. We are honored to have such an exemplary and tremendous speaker who is a chair professor and deputy director, strategy and planning at IIT Delhi. Before starting today's event, we will virtually have traditional ceremony of lamp lighting and Saraswati Vandana as a tribute to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge.
Ya kundendu tusharhara dhavala, ya shubhravasravruta, ya veena varadanda manditakara, ya shveta padmasana, ya brahmachyuta shankara prabhrutibhi देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहाम् हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्.
It was a feast for the soul, and now we all are sanctified. Let's proceed further onto the event. Today, to be a part of this webinar is a golden opportunity for all of us, as we all will learn something by the end of the webinar, because it's going to be super fascinating, enthralling, and insightful. In a nutshell, there is a request to all to fill the feedback form to get the e-certificate. There's an opportunity for all the undergraduates to grab the additional certificate of appreciation if they will answer one lecture-based question aptly, which is included in the feedback form. The link for the feedback form will be posted soon during the lecture in the chat box. So I hope all of you will participate enthusiastically. Now, I respectfully and cordially invite Sir Professor Dionandan Kumar, teacher in charge of Department of Chemistry, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Ms. Palak. Very good morning to one and all. On behalf of Department of Chemistry, Deshbandhu College, I welcome all the distinguished faculty members and dear students and participants in the second lecture of Motivational Lecture Series entitled What Has Science Done for Our Society? I would like to thank Professor Rajiv Agrawal, the principal of our college, who is putting his all efforts towards the 360-degree development of our college and always motivating us to organize such events. With immense pleasure, I welcome today's speaker, Professor A.K. Ganguli, Institute Chair Professor, Department of Chemistry, and Deputy Director, Strategy and Planning, IIT Delhi. Dr. Umesh will elaborate more on Professor Ganguly's field of work. This motivational lecture series was initiated by Dr. Umesh Kumar, who himself is actively involved in research and other academic works of the college. He is very sincere and has high commitment for work. The topic of today's webinar, what has science done for our society, is extremely apt in today's scenario. Science has nurtured our society in many aspects and paved the way to development. I believe the participants will learn a lot from Professor Ganguly's lecture. My best wishes for all success of the webinar. Thank you. Over to Palak.
Thank you, Professor Deonandan Kumar, for your spectacular words. Due to some work, Principal Sir couldn't attend the webinar, but he has sent his best wishes for the success of the webinar. Now, I would like to invite our Vice Principal of Deshbandhu College, Sir Professor Kamal Kumar Gupta.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this fantastic motivational lecture series. I welcome one and all here, and my heartfelt welcome to today's speaker, Professor A.K. Ganguli. My full appreciation to the chemistry department, and especially Dr. Deonandan, Professor Deonandan, Dr. Umesh Rai, and all the faculty member, which is a very versatile department. And the talk series is really fantastic, their motivational talk series. And without saying much, in fact, it's really fabulous to hear that what science has done, because this topic is not only for the science students, it's for everyone. So I feel that everyone is going to enjoy this talk, and especially when Professor Ganguli is there, it's going to be a treat to listen him. So my best wishes and my all appreciation to everyone, to Dr. Umesh Rai, who is such a fantastic researcher, a human being, and a wonderful teacher. So all my best wishes, and thank you.
Thank you, Vice Principal, sir, for your inspiring and cheerful words. Now I respectfully and cordially invite the mentor who stood by us like a pillar to make this webinar a success, none other than the program convener, Dr. Umesh Kumar, for inviting our eminent speaker.
Thank you, Palak. A very good morning to one and all present here. Thank you, Deonandan sir, and the Vice Principal sir, Professor Kamal Gupta sir, for the encouraging word. So it is my great pleasure to introduce the eminent speaker of today's lecture, Professor A.K. Ganguli sir. A very warm welcome to you, sir, in Deshbandhu College. Most of us present here are knowing very well about the Ganguli sir, as he is a very well-known personality for chemistry community in India and abroad. But it is my duty to introduce him here formally. It also becomes important for our students. Today, all of us here to listen to a lecture on motivational lecture series. We all know motivation, inspirations, and encouragements are important for everyone's life. Without motivations, we can't be happy. Hence, motivational speakers are required to encourage new generations of society to take action to make changes for their better lives. I personally and strongly believe that the today lecture of Professor Ganguli sir definitely motivates all of us in shaping our future better. Professor Ganguli sir currently Institute Chair Professor of Chemistry and Deputy Director Strategy and Planning at IIT Delhi. He is also a founding director of Institute of Nanoscience and Technology in Mohali during January 2013 to January 2018. Professor Ganguli obtained his PhD degree from the Solid State and Structural Chemistry Unit of IIC Bangalore in 1990 in the area of thallium-based high-temperature superconductors, for which he got the Sudbury Medal of Indian Institute of Science. He has been visiting scientist at DuPont Company, USA during 1990 to 1991 and a postdoctoral associate and visiting scientist at Evans Laboratory and Iowa State University, USA during 1991 to 1993 and 2004 to 2005 respectively. His area of interest are in the design of nanostructured material for application in water purification, solar energy conversion, and microfluidic devices, and also high temperature superconductivity. He has published over 350 papers and has filed 5 patents. He has successfully completed several research projects, including some of which with industry. He is recipient of National Award of Nanoscience and Technology given by Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. The Chemical Research Society of India, CRSI, Silver Medal, Material Research Society of India Medal, the CNR Rao CRSI National Award, Chemical Excellence Award by Indian Society of Chemists and Biologists, and the Bangalore India Nano Award given by Karnataka government. So he is a fellow of Royal Society of Chemistry, London, Indian Academy of Science, the National Academy of Science, India, and the Asia Pacific Association of Materials. He is currently an associate editor of Bulletin of Material Science and member editorial boards, Journal of Indian Chemical Society, ACS Material Letters, and Chemical Physics Letters. Apart from the academic achievements, he has done a lot of the social work. So in the social life, Professor Ganguli sir has also a very keen speaker for science education in schools and colleges, and initiated an outreach program at Institute of Nanoscience and Technology, Mohali, for rural school students in remote parts of India, in which he has visited more than 300 schools, and in the last 3.5 years, he created several programs, especially for ST students, and involved large number of students from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala, and from Manipur to Rajasthan. Apart from the above, he is a key speaker in inspired series of lectures, Department of Science and Technology, and is also helping promote research awareness in college through Science Academies workshop. So we have the long list of about his achievement, but today we have an opportunity to spend more time to listen him. So now, on behalf of Chemistry Department, Deshbandhu College, I welcome you, sir, and request you to deliver the lecture.
Namaste. Dhanyavad, Umesh ji. Thank you for your kind words. And thanks to the Vice Principal who spoke before and Professor Devanandan ji who spoke. And I'm happy to be with you. I must tell you that, after past, I lived behind Deshbandhu College in Chittaranjan Park. I grew up there. Okay, and many times we used to go to the Deshbandhu College backside, where now I think you have another college building has come up. Probably it's called Ramanujam College. It was not there at that time, and sometimes the boundary wall was broken, so we used to play also there sometimes. And I must tell you, Deshbandhu College has improved a lot. From our days, it was little notorious, and it has now become a very well-known college for education and all that. But when I passed high school, I applied to only three colleges: Hansraj College, Hindu College, and Deshbandhu College. And of course, I got into Hansraj College as in doing chemistry honors. Otherwise, I would be an alumni of Deshbandhu College at that time. Uh, so I have great respects for the colleges in Delhi. They are among the best in India. I have seen many students who come for their master's, PhD to IITs. And Delhi University syllabus is very strong, very powerful, and many very good students have come out of Delhi University. My own several PhD students are from Delhi University background. I had the good fortune of having very good teachers in my BSc honors at Hansraj College and also in my masters at Delhi University, which helped me grow. And whatever I am today is because of the good teachers I had and the kind of experiments we did those days. Uh, I hope are being continued. We did very good experiments. So to students, I must start. It's a motivational lecture, although I have some science. I must tell you one or a couple of things that, everybody, all of you do not know how much potential you have. That is one thing you must try to think. So, which comes, of course, with age. I also was not thinking what I'm saying to you today when I was of your age. But if you are able to grasp, some of you will have a one leg up than the others. If you start thinking a little bit on your own, have 10 minutes to yourself in the evening or something. Just think. You just sit and think what I am doing, what I should do. It makes a lot of difference to streamline your thoughts. Many of us who work very, we have a lot of duties, teaching, projects, administration. Many times this time I have to find at 1 a.m. in the night or 5 a.m. in the morning when I have time to myself. That's the best time when your conscience tells you what you should be doing. What is there in this life for us? We all are born, we have 70, 75 years. Maybe if we are healthy, we'll go up till 80 years. What am I doing each day? Because every day, one day less in your life. So this kind of thought comes when you are alone, quiet, nobody is around you. Then you rationalize your thinking. You prioritize your life of 24 hours you have every day, what you can do and how you want to do. Ultimately, you should do what you like, what your mind likes to do best. Among you, although you are studying, many of you are chemistry students probably, but I think it is open to all. You must be studying some subject. You must ask yourself, am I enjoying this subject? What I want to do in future? I want to be a scientist. If so, what I should do next, where I should do my master's, and then if I want to further grow, where I can do my PhD. And you look, you have only one life. If you want to reach the top, your best, you have only one life to try. You can only do, sometimes people do 2 undergraduate degrees, 2 master's degrees, etc. But most of us do only one. And this one thing what you do is shaping your life, which you will do in the next 40, 50 years of your life. So do something which you like, so that in your next 40 years, you will be happy, because you will have to be working. So if you are a teacher, you will be teaching for 30, 40 years, right? If you are a scientist, you will be doing science. That means going to laboratories, discussing with students, writing grant proposals, going and facing the jury for your grant, who will ask you questions. If you like, dislike or not, you have to ask. If you want to be a musician, in your core there is, like, I love music, but I know I am not, I don't have that sur natal, but I like to listen. I cannot become a musician, I know that, even if I want to be. So something is innate in you. For example, I think I became, and people tell me I'm a good communicator, and I try to become better at that. When I go to class, each year I try to improve myself. Even today, after so many years of teaching, and several times probably same course, even then I put my whole effort one day before for the next class, trying to improve what I'm going to deliver. So the point I'm trying to tell you is, all of you are unique. All of you have tremendous potential. You don't even know how much potential you have, right? You have to know of your inner potential, that I am very good at, history. I love history. I like to go to forts. I like to learn about how some civilization developed. Or I am very good at writing literature, maybe Hindi or English or in your mother tongue, whether it's Bengali or Tamil or whatever. Or you may be very good at picking languages. Somehow I have that. I was in Bangalore. I can more or less understand two, three South Indian languages. Two languages for sure. I can, if somebody speaks, I can tell what is the meaning. I cannot follow probably every word, but some of you may have that flair of even writing in three, four languages, or maybe become a translator, at a high level, people who are required at Indian consulates abroad. There is potential for everything. There's potential for all kinds of journey. So I want you to think a bit on that. And for all that, you need some time to yourself, alone, very passive, thinking. Nothing you have to do. Just sit quiet, facing outside the balcony or looking at trees. Don't think that is a waste of time. Actually, in everybody's life, if not every day, once a week, you need to sit quietly and think, because in this mad rush of things, we are already working like robots. So you need some time when you are not doing anything. You don't want to do anything. Just be yourself. And that time you have to find for yourself sometime. And keep that time for yourself. And look inside and tell what your heart, whatever we say, conscience or heart, or it is actually, it tells you, it never will tell you a wrong thing. If you practice it, even you come to taking a decision whether I should go for IAS or I should continue to do my PhD. This decision I had to take in my master's, and I never repented. I became a scientist. After clearing the IAS prelims, I decided I will not sit for the mains exam. Okay, but that was a conscious decision. Similarly, when I was in US, I changed from one company to another place at half the salary. I tell you, that was a great decision in my life, that I chose to change my subject, and I learned so many new things, although that new place was giving half the salary. So sometimes in short term, money should not drive you. Your overall thinking should drive you, and money will follow. Okay. So with these few things, let me share the slides I have and quickly go. Okay. So a lot of people ask what scientists do, what have they done, etc., etc. So I made this talk maybe 3 years back for an Inspire lecture in Chandigarh, and then I have kept improving it. So this talk I will dedicate to a person all of you know, Stephen Hawking. And Stephen Hawking had this motor neuron disease, which suddenly he got when he was studying his master's in Cambridge University. He started falling. He could not walk, and then people diagnosed, and then all his muscles got jammed. He cannot smile, he cannot talk, he cannot move. Even with that, he continued for his PhD at Cambridge. Later on, became professor, director, and has gone all over the world, given lectures, has written 7 books. Imagine a person who cannot move, cannot talk, etc., can do all this. So, what you can do with everything working? Even 2 weeks before his death, he was writing papers. He did science till the last day. Imagine all of you, you can open your eyes, close your eyes, talk to your friend, pick up a telephone. These are things we take for granted. But for people who don't have that facility, who cannot pick up a mobile phone in their own hand, imagine for them, their greatest gift, they will ask God, God, give me the strength to make me walk or make me. So that's another thing I want to tell you. Every day morning, why we pray or somebody prays in a church, in a temple, in a mosque, in a gurdwara, you must be thankful that your body parts, everything is working. How complex is our body? One nerve goes off in the brain, certain parts will stop functioning. So be happy, be grateful, not start the day in the morning. मेरे पास ये नहीं है, आज टीचर ने ना काम दे दिया है, बस नहीं मिलेगी, गाड़ी खराब है. Those are very, very minor things. गाड़ी खराब है तो गाड़ी ठीक हो जाएगी, right? Even if you have an accident, okay, you may spend 20,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees. I had a major car accident. My airbags and belts saved me and my family. You can imagine the car was trashed. Okay, it was something like 8-9 lakhs car at that time. But you see, God saved, nothing happened, not a scratch. How happy I was. I was telling my wife, look, I'm standing on the road, nothing happened to me. Car is there, dumped. So, हर चीज का देखने का नजरिया आपका होना चाहिए. उसी चीज को लेके somebody may start blaming his wife. आपको बोला था आज नहीं निकलना है, इस प्रोग्राम में नहीं जाना है, that like that. That's not the way to live life. Life every day will give you challenges, will throw up challenges. How best you handle it, keeping your cool. In college, many times something may happen. You have to keep your cool, your patience, not be aggressive. Because at the end of the day, when you leave the college, when you retire, what people will remember you about is that you are an aggressive person. We could not go to you and ask for something, you'll shout at us, right? A student will remember like that, or a faculty and another faculty. You don't want to be remembered like that. In your whole life of 70 years, what will remain? You have come empty-handed. The day you die, you will not take anything with you. All your cars and houses will remain here. Others will enjoy, right? What will go with you? Somebody asked this a story that somebody passed away, and he asked God, why do you make people? Why do you cause this birth? And then after birth, people live 70 years. They die. They work so hard. They make buildings. They make cars and all that. They have family. Then God seems like have told him, see, all this was never meant for you. What was meant for you, you never enjoyed. And he said, what was that? He said, every moment I give you, that means every second, every moment is what you should enjoy. That's all for you. You will not take away anything from this world. So the time that has been given to you, when you are a school student, enjoy learning in class, enjoy playing in the field, enjoy having fun with your colleagues and classmates and all. See, as we grow old, what we remember those days in our school, in our college canteen. That was the moment what you are supposed to do. You're supposed to study in the class, you're supposed to enjoy with friends, and that is the moment you have. Those who have the best of life is that they have done anything. If on a weekend I will go watch a movie or go to the mountains, take a bicycle trek in the mountains, or if you don't like mountains, swim in the sea, river, or you like swimming pools. Every moment is important in your life which you can enjoy. That is what will be there with your life. So when you are 70, if somebody asks you, are you happy? If you have done all those things, you'll say, yes, I have lived my life. I drove fast cars. I climbed mountains. I went to treks in Gibraltar or Mexico or China. That's all I would like to do. And I do it. I travel whenever I get time. I am a very enthusiast of mountain driving. Even today, I can drive up till Khardungla Pass and Rohtang Pass. I have gone 14 times driving up myself. These are things which I enjoy and I would like to do whenever I get time. But when I teach, I will give my best. I will put in the last midnight oil that next day my lecture has to be fantastic. My students should enjoy. I should, when I come out of my class, I should feel good that today I gave a good lecture. Sometimes you feel I did not give a good lecture. So enjoy every moment. Okay. Just think about science, what science has contributed. This talk I gave in 2018, so it is written, just think we are not in 2018, but in 12,018. 800 years back, we did not have even buttons to tie our shirts. So we used to tie with, weeds, grass, we did not have thread. So people used to tie with grass or whatever weeds you had. In 500 years back, we had no thermometer, no pencil. Great man, one of the greatest scientists or technologists uh, you can call, who invented the telescope and etc. Right? So great people have been born around that time, around 1500, etc. So Archimedes thought of the gravitation, the law of buoyant force. These kind of great people, there was no lab, there was no government of India to pay them money. They just thought and they came out with great ideas. That's why they were called thinkers. That's why they are called philosophers. That's why even today, when we do a PhD, you're supposed to be a thinker. You have to do something new, something which has come out of your mind. So that's why it's called Doctor of Philosophy, because you're thinking and philosophizing and proving something. And that is something you have done for the first time. That's why you do a PhD, right? 300 years back, we did not even have a train. Today, we are going up and down, going to space and coming back. And now space travel has become so easy. No electricity 200 years back. Can you imagine a world today without electricity? Who brought electricity? Who brought bicycle? Without scientists, who would have thought of how current and magnetic field interact? So science, without science, there could be never have been any engineering or any technology. The fundamentals of chemical sciences, how to make hydrogen. What is hydrogen? What is metals like iron, gold, etc. Right? Automatic watch, 1923, color TV, 1950. Of course, in India, color TV came in the Delhi Asian Games, 1982, when we got our first color television. I still remember I was in BSc when we got our first color television. Mobile phones in the world was 73. Of course, in India, it came much later, in the 90s, etc. Internet came in around 78, 79, right? And even today, there are many things we don't have an answer. Science is working towards it, right? No HIV vaccine, no cure for cancer, and many other diseases, neuro diseases and all. There are many, many questions. Every day scientists are finding something new. So today in some lab in IIT or in Harvard University, in Cambridge University, imagine yourself, transport yourself in the environment of Harvard University or Cambridge or any of the top labs in India. Somebody is finding something new. Just in these 2 years, so many vaccines have been found. It is unbelievable. Before this coronavirus came, one vaccine used to take 10 years, 20 years to develop, for diphtheria, measles, mumps, which we get when child is born today. They immediately in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, we have all these injections. They were all developed over 20 years, etc. Polio vaccine. But in 2 years, not one, how many vaccines are in pipeline in WHO asking for approval? Hundreds of vaccines. Right now, around 6, 7 have been granted, like Covishield or AstraZeneca and this Moderna, Pfizer. These are the top player, Johnson and Johnson, right? Now, Covishield has been approved, which is the AstraZeneca one. Now, Covaxin is getting approval soon, hopefully. Even this week, there is a meeting in WHO in Geneva. 100 or more vaccines are in the pipeline in 2 years. Imagine how many scientists all over the world have worked. Which earlier days, one vaccine used to take 20 years. We are trying to fast forward. Look at the technology or science, the life science and the technology. Without technology and science hand in hand, you cannot work. Because now a lot of things have to be done by machines. That's why it is fast, right? So imagine things which you take for granted. Photocopy machines. Go and read the history of photocopy machine. How does it make a photocopy? You put a paper and a copy comes out. Imagine tomorrow I make a box like that, which scientists call it transportation. That is, I put a man inside a box and I press a button and I tell him to go, and next he's in Washington DC. Can we do that? That's called teleportation, right? You can do it. It has been done scientifically, but for very microscopic objects. In 1 or 2 labs in United States, it has been shown that you can move one subatomic particle to another point using what is called teleportation, right? But we can't, there's no technology then that you can move a person like that or a paper or a paperweight like that. It is at a level that scientifically, yes, but the object is very, very small, very, very light. Okay, so we all take for granted microwave oven, everybody's home microwave oven. Imagine the science behind it, the microwaves. Who thought about it that microwaves can heat up food so fast? Because they used the knowledge of what we teach in BSc chemistry. All of you read spectroscopy. All of you read rotational spectroscopy, vibrational spectroscopy, electronic spectroscopy. I can teach this example in class and teach what is called rotational spectroscopy. The energy levels which a molecular rotor undergoes in energy. That's what happens. Why things cook? Because water is there inside, or any material which has dipoles. It picks up radiation and can rotate. So microwave radiation, if you can pick up, that heats up the system, right? And very fast, you can reach high temperatures at the core of the system. It must be able to absorb microwaves very well, okay? So you can read. So how science, basic science, which we teach in undergraduate, in BSc, or even in schools, can give you technologies which are every day in home. Air conditioners, how does air conditioner work? How does it take in hot air from outside and then cools it? It's all about compression. Read Joule Thomson effect in physics in, I think, class 11, 12, they may be teaching Joule Thomson effect, Joule expansion. When a gas expands, right? If you have gas in a small volume and suddenly you take that gas to a larger volume, what will happen? Number of particles per unit volume will decrease. The pressure will decrease. They cause a cooling effect. right? Pressure is proportional to temperature. You must have read Boyle's law, pressure is inversely proportional to volume. All these things we have been teaching for so many years, and you should only know the connection to everyday life. Optical, how does the internet work? Have you thought about it? I send a mail to my friend in US, he gets it. It doesn't go through satellite. It goes through optical cables under the sea. Who is doing that? Who designed the cables? What kind of cables are these? You must know an Indian worked a lot on optical fibers. His name was Kapani. He just passed away in California at the age of 92, 93, something like that, or maybe 95. He missed the Nobel Prize. He was an Indian soldier. In 1948, he was sent to England to study signals, electrical engineering. There he developed many things, and then he was asked to do PhD, and his life then changed. And he's considered to be the discoverer of optical cable. Even in the Nobel lecture given by the person who was given the Nobel Prize, I think his name was Mao. He was in England, and he commented that the great amount of work with which Kapani did led to the Nobel Prize winning work. Magnetic strip, you go to Shopper Stop or something, you put a magnetic card. What is this magnetic strip? It has all the information, right? Your card information, which bank and how much, etc., etc. These magnetic strips are made up of some material, magnetic materials. People teach in physics ferromagnets, antiferromagnets. It's all because of that. You need some material which can be magnetized and demagnetized, right? You need a card reader to read the information packed as magnetic bits, right? So there are tracks on the magnetic strip, and these tracks tell you about the information of the material or the price of the material or where it was made, etc. All that information. And if it is on the material, it gives that information. If it is on your credit card, it gives you the information to connect to your bank. Then the bank gives an okay, and that feedback comes back to the operator in the shop. And once it gets okayed, the money transaction takes place. Similarly, that's magnetic strip is optical barcodes. So you cannot take out a shirt from any store which has optical barcode. If you take it out, it will make a sound because this barcode has to go first to the cashier's table or the computer where he will swipe using a detector. He has a handheld detector which he uses a light source to read this optical barcode, which has information about the garment which you are buying or any commodity you are buying, and it has the information about the origin of the material and the cost of the material and all that. Think about GPS. We are using GPS all the time. When you are using your maps, Google Maps and all that, when I am driving, how does it immediately tell you where you have to go? How does it maps? It locates you, etc. This is a method of triangulation. It's a mathematical problem. In mathematics, we teach the method of triangulation. It's a great example to tell us somebody where mathematics can be applied. So it uses a method of trilateration. You need 3 satellites which are seeing the object. That means wherever you are, actually 3 satellites are tracking you. Then it makes the coordinates using trilateration, a triangulation, which I won't go into detail, but every point can be mapped by those 3 satellites. The whole world is covered by 30 satellites at any point of time at an orbit of around 20,000 kilometers above the Earth. These 30 satellites of different companies, will find out each person or each place at any time. You need 3 satellites to pinpoint your position, your coordinates, etc. So how science developed, not because of money or salary or funding or projects, etc. Science is an activity which developed because there are people in our society. Even today, you will find in your class, there will be one boy or girl who is like a dreamer, looks out of the window, looking at the trees. He or she is in a different world, is dreaming something. Such dreamers have great curiosity. They ask, why is the sky blue and not, you know, purple in color? Why is the leaves green? People ask these hundreds of years back. And then once you ask questions, so the greatest scientists are those who ask questions. Even in your class, I would say the best students are those who ask questions. Some of the questions may appear to be stupid to somebody, but asking questions, even stupid questions, is very important. And I would give 10 out of 10 to that student who asks questions rather than those who give answers to the standard questions we ask them in class. Because most of the questions we ask are from the book or the previous years. That's how most of the places it is taught and examined. You are examined on something which is there in books, but many times you are not examined what you understood out of that. That means I teach you a theory or a concept. Can you solve a problem based on those concepts? That's how your brain has worked on whatever was taught to you. That's true understanding. It's like I take you driving on one highway and I you learn how you drive. Will you be able to drive on another highway? Because certain signs might have changed. Okay, so you are in the United States and you are driving, you learn driving in India. Some things will change. Now, if you are a good learner, you will spend half an hour in a US road to understand the driving signs. And then probably in 2, 3 hours, or maybe it depends on persons, how smart they are. Some people pick up in half an hour, uh, and some people never can drive. There are people, my friends, who can never drive in another country, but I can drive in any country. So it's depending on how, again, it is because I like driving. So something you like, you pick up fast. If you like chemistry, you will learn chemistry much faster. If you like mathematics, you'll pick up mathematics faster than, say, history. If you like history, you'll pick up faster than another colleague of yours. It's the liking which matters. If I like to do something, no matter the time, at 3 a.m. in the night, I will be doing that. If I like giving a talk to young children, I'll be preparing a talk, and I do that even now at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning when I get time. So liking is important. Personal curiosity is important. You cannot be made to become a great scientist by giving you funds, by telling you I'll give you that award or that degree and all that. Those are all byproducts. The main thing is, are you interested? Chemistry was there 100 years back. Chemistry is there today. Chemistry will be there 100 years later also, right? Whether you like or not, those kind of students will develop and shape chemistry in the coming years. Similarly about physics, etc. So the first qualification for a scientist is you have to observe, right? Many of us observe small things, right? So this is, I would say, the most celebrated scientist, if you want to call one person, who changed the world was Galileo Galilei. His father wanted him to be a doctor because in early days, the first profession which came into practice, all the mathematicians or philosophers were respected. People wanted somebody to heal somebody, so a doctor, right? But he was what we call a polymath. A polymath is a person who is an expert in several subjects, not only physics, mathematics, chemistry. He's interested in anything in nature. He wants to understand. So see, to understand the sky, he built his own telescope. Look at his inventions: thermometer, compass, telescope, pendulum clock. He all built them himself. And he was the person, after building in 1500s, he predicted the Milky Way, the first man to do. With today's modern radio telescopes, the giant telescopes with all kinds of computers, the world's sophisticated supercomputers, which handle today's astronomical data, which comes from the sky, from Mars, beyond Mars, from extreme, we have gone extreme edge of the universe. What is coming? That we are trying to find out, right? What is dark matter, etc. Using all those huge radio telescopes put in Mexico, in Ladakh, in many countries, in Sahara, in Australia, because you need very quiet and high locations. So in Ladakh, we have our highest giant telescope by the Indian government, which many foreigners also use, etc. So look at him. He had nothing. No teacher asked him to make a telescope. He made the telescope because it was his curiosity. How do I look? If I want to look, then he thought, maybe I make some glass, make lenses, right? And he must have made it himself in his own backyard. Microscope. So telescope, microscope. Leeuwenhoek, right? Robert Hooke, Leeuwenhoek, you all studied in biology. How to look big things in the sky, how to look small things, smaller and smaller. Today, this is world's latest small telescope. Cost 30, 40 crores, right? We have also in India around 12 of them. You can see inside an atom also, okay? So these are the world's latest microscopes. So how much we have traveled in this 1590 to 2020, right? We can see inside an atom. All these are atoms, etc. Every generation we are improving. Michael Faraday, one man, never went to school. You should all thank him because you will not get water in the morning if Michael Faraday had not invented the inverter and the motor, right? Motor pump में motor होता है ना, वो motor किसने invent किया था? Michael Faraday ने. आपका inverter घर में काम करता है ना, Michael Faraday. Chemicals you are taught in chemistry, benzene किसने बनाया था? Michael Faraday. Never went to school, was an assistant in a book binder, जिसको Humphrey Davy ने देखा and took him to his laboratory as a laboratory assistant. And then, he went up till to become the president of the Royal Society. बनाना चाहते थे, but he refused to become a president of the Royal Society. So Rutherford said that the greatest discoverer is Michael Faraday, who has so many things: electricity, capacitance, magnetization, electromagnetic field, everything. He gave an idea. He made the first chlorine gas in the lab, the first benzene, and of course I told you motor, transformer, generator. हर एक के लिए नोबेल प्राइज मिलना चाहिए. कितने नोबेल प्राइज मिल जाते? 7-8 तो मिनिमम मिल जाते. उस टाइम there was no Nobel Prize, right? Edison, if you know, in his childhood he was sent away from his school because he was a slow. Teacher told he cannot be taught. He had some kind of disease, they said. Okay, his mother never told him. When he came back from home, his mother said that you are a very bright student and you have to be taught at home. And his mother taught Edison, and then you know what Edison did. He did everything because of which you have now light bulbs and all that. Not only that, you listen to songs, all that started with the gramophone. You have telephone that also started with Edison. You won't believe Edison had his entire factory lost at the age of 67. He changed his plans. At 67, he started new things, became famous even in that. So you are never too late. And he could have quit. 67, he had so many patents by that time. He was so rich and everything. But no, after the fire, he built new factory. He started new things at the age of 67. So never think you are old. You have to be young at heart. Even at 60, today you give me a chance. If I get time, I will go to Mount Everest. That was my dream. But I got spondylitis, so I can't go to unless somebody. But I watch all documentaries of Mount Everest and K2 and all that. I used to like rock climbing, etc. All these Edison's discoveries, telephone, right? Graham Bell, another inventor. So Edison discovered some aspects of the telephone. Graham Bell completed that story. Okay. Flying, another thing. There was Lord Kelvin, very famous. You write that K in temperature scale, Kelvin scale. Lord Kelvin told in 1890 or 80 that man can never fly. Man is fool to think. Such a big man, but then man started flying. So many experiments. People died. But then on October 5th, 1905, the first flight is dedicated to the world by the Wright brothers, who flew 24 miles. Before him also many people tried to fly and flew for some few minutes or something. And many people died while jumping from mountains by using things like they see in birds, etc. We landed in the moon 1969. You should watch on YouTube if those who have not seen the landing. This module is called the Eagle, and you should see what great hopes, because moon was something people used to think that we are watching from here and what is there. And man made that landing in 1969. Today we are in outer space all the time. The space station is there, and you see we are walking in outer space, minus 156 degrees centigrade. How? Because of science, because those things which they are wearing, they can withstand 120 degrees. That means they can, in a hot oven, they can stand, nothing will happen to them. 121 degrees. And in below Antarctica, they can go minus 156. Temperature also they can withstand with that kind of suits that they are wearing. So amazing. These are all man-made, right? These suits are made in laboratories with some polymers and things like that. Inside, you see, you can maintain air conditioning. He is not wearing anything. He's taking pictures of the Earth. Today, I can track satellites sitting on my computer. Right now, I can tell on top of Deshbandhu College how many satellites are there. I can just go. There is a software. I can, even nowadays, many things are on Google. You can check. This I was giving a talk in Mukteshwar. So I was showing them how you can look at what is the satellite on top of Mukteshwar in Kumaon. And I showed them these were the Hubble Space Telescope, the International Space Station. They were all above that. And the time it would be there, how much time it will spend, what latitude, what longitude. Look at the power of human mind. This is all done by humans, the software written on the computers, the hardware. Today's world supercomputers are so powerful. Your laptop is so powerful. You imagine in 1980, the computers engineering students at IITs used to use, when IBM DEC 1090, it used to be called, given by United States as a loan to IIT Kanpur and IISc Bangalore. It used to take a 2-story building to hold that computer. Today, my laptop is much powerful, that huge machine of 2-3 buildings story. Your mobile phones are so powerful. They can download so many pictures, etc. So what is the strength of this computational power? Is the chip, the integrated chip inside is so powerful. Why is the chip powerful? Because we have so many circuit elements in that. And how could we do it? Because of nanotechnology. We can make so many circuits within 1 square inch. That's the power of engineering technology. We can submersible, we can go at the depths. So where is the next world power going to fight? They are going to fight for the oceans. They are going to already fighting for the space, because all the minerals under the sea, people are tapping into that. On the earth, they have tapped. Now they are tapping under the sea. In India also, we have National Institute of Oceanography and Goa. They have huge projects. They have ships which go into the sea. They do digging. India is very rich in manganese nodules found under the sea near India. And we are tapping into that. Many other oil reserves we are trying to tap under the sea. All these hard disks, you used to use this compact disks earlier. I don't know how many of you have seen who are in college. When we were, say, 10 years back, we used to use hard disks, this CD drives, which were 700 MB. Today, my pen drive is 1 terabyte, 10 to the power 12 bits. And that time it was 10 to the power 6 bits. How this technology is evolving. You have Blu-ray DVD. You must have heard when you go to stores to buy DVD players and all. What is Blu-ray? Blu-ray is using the blue color laser, which was difficult, say 10 years back. Today we can make blue lasers, and we can have blue DVD. Blue color has the shortest wavelength. Shorter the wavelength, more information you can pack and more information you can read, right? We have all these touch screens on my computer, on my mobile. You are touching the mobile phone and your a number is coming, you are making connections all through the physics behind the screen. Your screen has something which has like a transducer. When you touches, a current is generated, some circuits get completed. Those give you the information to the mobile phone to ring this number, call this number, or bring out this photograph. All that at the touch. So all this technology, which is behind your screen, you need a conducting surface. How do we make conducting films? How we make conducting glasses? It's all material science, electronics. And remember one thing, that great science or technology doesn't happen by reading one subject. So you are a chemist, you are studying chemistry, or you are a physicist. That's your base. But slowly as you go in science, you will have to interact with physicists, has to interact with chemist has to interact with biologists, with maths people, with computer people, because science does not belong to any discipline. To make a mobile phone, I need electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, chemical engineer, chemist, a programmer, a systems engineer who will design the systems, an artist, a design engineer, because how to package the elements, how to make the mobile phone look sleek. It's a combination of 20 disciplines or 30 disciplines. And so remember, never jacket yourself into, I'm an organic chemist, I'm a physical chemist. I mean, it's an old thing, classical thing. You learn some things, you become an expert in something, but you also overlap with other people. So there are, like in all the major institutions, like in IITs, I am a professor in 2 departments, chemistry and material science. There are professors in MIT who are professors of 5 departments, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, chemistry, biology. Because if I am working on sensors, I need to know about my skin, because I touch my skin. What is the sense I am getting? How my nerves are connected? All that knowledge I will learn if I talk to somebody in biology with neuroscience, right? So at the top level, as you are growing up, from core subjects, you will slowly work at interfaces and interact. So all that. Flexible films. Today, you can have a mobile phone which can be like your wear on your wrist. Already it is launched in the market. You can get those mobile. Fast trains, bullet trains made in Japan in 1964. The fastest train in the world running today, passenger train, 450 kilometers in Shanghai. In only one country it runs for passengers. In Germany and Japan, it runs only for research. They don't, because it's very expensive. Only in Shanghai this runs. If you go to Shanghai, I've been on this train. It runs at 450 kilometers per hour. It hardly takes 8 minutes, the whole run from the airport to the center of the city. So all this, looking inside, this is terahertz technology. This is only 8-10 years old technology. I can see through a body. This technology is used in many airports, etc. That's why they don't touch you in many airports, but they can find out from a distance what you are carrying, etc. This use terahertz technology. Where is terahertz? If you are a student in science, you should know terahertz is a very small band between the microwave and infrared. And the reason why terahertz was not known earlier, that in nature you don't get terahertz easily. It's not, the natural source is not there. You have to make the source in the lab. So now companies make it, and you can buy terahertz source and use it for applications. There is nano all over the way. So nanotechnology, a lot of things. I won't go into too much detail, but you should know that these length scales, where is nano? 1 to 100 nanometers is below micrometers. But scientists work at picometers, femtometers, and attometers. The smallest dimension at which science works today in the world is in attometers in a couple of labs in the United States. Okay. Many things, butterflies have different colors due to they're changing their position of the wings, and that's called something called biophotonics. We work in the lab. Can I have the same shirt have different colors by doing some change? Yes, you can do. You can do some nano patterning on it, and it will show different colors under different. You can make nano catalyst like nano gold, oxidizes carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide, very important. But normal gold does not do. Normal gold has yellow color. I can make green colored gold, blue colored gold, etc. These are the kind of labs you work when you are working in nanotechnology. You have to wear all kind of suits. Each lab is like 20 crore, 40 crore, 100 crore costs, depending on the size of the lab. We also have in IIT Delhi some, but industrial nano labs are maybe 500 crores and all costs, through which chips are manufactured in Taiwan and United States, etc. Those chips are all used. I want to know how much time I have, because it's already 12:45. I have 5 minutes, 2 minutes. How much time? Somebody can tell me.
Sir, you have enough
10
time.
minutes.
Have time? Okay. So you see, the bottom person is in a suit, and this room is all in light, which is not your natural light. You have to have this light, and this room has got so many sensors. It can tell what particle is there in the air. It will tell you, there are meters in the room, will tell you how many particles of this gas is there, etc. And you can control all of them. And you can make designs on this machine, patterns, and then it's all used for making chips, for making electrons move and electronic circuits. But if you make, there are something where you want to make fluid flow, that's called microfluidics. This is used in biosensing. So you want to make a chip which can sense, say, platelets in your blood, or I want to check my urine sample, right? I can make a nano chip in which that liquid will flow and will be connected to a detector, right? And I can find out even individual how small droplets are merging, mixing. So this kind of nano channels, etc., can be made, and we can make devices out of these nano channels. And you can see bottom, there is a device where you can incorporate some droplets of liquid, and the liquid will flow and merge. And at the end, you will get the product. I can make this kind of microfluidic channels. Where it can be used, for example, this is an application, a watch, which has actually microfluidic channels, and it's programmable. So there is a kind of a chip board built in, which has all the programs loaded for 2 liquids to merge or 3 liquids to merge. And then at the back of this watch is there are needles which will prick your skin, and you'll get the injection at an appropriate time. This is used for diabetic patients and especially for children who cannot put the injection themselves. So you can buy this device and you can program it. So you can not only do for diabetes, you can do for other drugs. This was launched in 2012. You can buy it in markets. And I have a friend, colleague, whose son is diabetic from birth, and he uses it. He doesn't have a watch, but he has put it in the side of his body, which is inside his shirt. So it is programmed, and you can program it every day. You can change the program. If you take more sweets, next day your insulin delivery has to be different. So you can program, etc. This nanotechnology. IBM made this kind of writing with atoms and molecules is known today. You can write with atoms. That means if you write with your pen, one line is around 0.5 millimeters thick. If you write with atoms, it is 10 to the power minus 8 or something, right? So how many lines I can make within your one line? That means your one book, I can put in, say, lakhs of books in the same book that you have. So my library will get constrained, actually. That's what it means. Writing with atoms is something very expensive, because you need ultra high vacuum chambers, etc. But technically, this was shown how many years back? Nearly 35 years back by IBM. These are cheaper, writing with molecules. So you have printers, that's like that. You have earlier desk jet printers. If you have replaced the printer cartridge, you can see there are some pens. That pen inside has liquid, and in the liquid there are molecules. I can pattern any surface I want by changing my cartridge accordingly. So for your printing, you need some kind of cartridge, but I can print my surface, my tablecloth, my table by certain molecules which give it some property like hydrophobicity. obesity, right? So these kind of things, this cost maybe 6, 7, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, this dip pen nanolithography, but writing with atoms is very, very expensive. And you profit. The first hard disk for writing with atoms was released in 2016. It's quite expensive. Nanostructures are there in nature. If you see objects, there are many things which walk on water. Why do they walk on water? Because if you look under their leg, there are 9 nanofibers in which air is trapped. The trapped air makes them walk. Similarly, you find insects climbing walls. Why do they climb? Because under their legs, they have thousands of legs or millions of legs. The smaller the legs, better. You will have many of them. We have one leg. We don't have these structures. So that's why we cannot climb the walls like these insects climb. But we can now make polymers. If I have those polymer made surface on my hand, then I can also climb the wall. So those are used for many technologies today. These material, this is man-made, just like lizard's leg. You can have these features and these steps. It's called gecko. Gecko in America means lizard. So this is lizard tape. That means a tape which will give you the same power of holding like a lizard has. This all of you know, lotus leaf is very clean because on that surface nothing remains, because water, when rain drops fall, cleans it up, because water will form a droplet. It does not wet the surface of the lotus leaf because of the nanofibers on the surface. Under the microscope, you can see this. Okay, so it will clean the surface like that. So you can make them artificially, and these nano surfaces today are used in buildings, and many skyscrapers have nano structured surfaces, glasses. These are also called smart glasses because you don't have to climb and clean it with a cloth. You just spray water or something, and the water rolls down along with the dirt, and the surface gets cleaned. You can make shirts like that. So you can dry the shirts very easily and keep them clean because droplets form on them. And these shirts are available in India also. Indian company also made with the IIT Delhi and DRDO lab. They have made textiles like this. So this is me looking at a jeans made by that company with IIT Delhi and ARCI Hyderabad. This kind of jeans and many shirts and socks. They were first developed for soldiers so that on the Siachen Glacier, etc., people, how will they wash every day, etc. So self-cleaning socks, etc., clothes which clean very fast, no bacteria can be there, or which can be dried very fast, etc. People can learn from nature. Some scientist was growing up in Florida. He used to look at sharks, and the shark skin, if you cut the skin of the shark and look under a scanning electron microscope, you will see this kind of objects. Once you see this kind of objects, it tells you when it will be swimming, water will be flowing through them. And this flow is called laminar flow. You must have studied in physics. There is turbulent flow and laminar flow. Because of laminar flow, nothing sticks. That's why shark skin is very clean. Now there is a company which makes that kind of surface for ships to put, is made of polymers. And the same boy grew up, Professor Jan Chow. He is now a professor at Northwestern. He opened this company and he grew up in Florida. And the polymer has got structures which are like the structures of the surface of the shark. So you learn, and then you go to lab and apply your mind and make an object similar to that. So this is my last slide today. So what I started with, do what you like to do. I started thinking little bit like this. By that time, I had already become 45 or so, or maybe plus 40, 50, and started seriously. But if you think early, say you are 23 or 21, 22, you think this way, you will grow much bigger. You will become something, you will do some impactful work in your life. So think early, start thinking today. Think big, because never feel you are in Deshbandhu College, you can't do, only a Harvard person can do, or somebody in Germany. All humans have been given the same powers. It's only how we think changes. Why people want an environment? Because Why I want to go to Harvard or Cambridge? Because my thinking changes because so many people think that way. But if you are a thinker like that, even in Deshbandhu College, you can make Harvard in Deshbandhu College. You will make a change in your class. Your friends will start thinking like you. So place is a little bit, yeah, it matters, because if I have 20 people thinking like that, then the way they talk, they present, they think, the whole atmosphere is different. Yes, it matters. But if you are, you think intensely inside, at home, in class, you yourself can bring about a change. Many people have done that single-handedly. Think how J.R.D. Tata started Air India. J.R.D. Tata bought one plane. Imagine his vision, and flew it to Bombay. Self flew it after buying that aircraft. And Air India came out of it. So many planes today. And now again, right? So one man can think, look at Homi Bhabha, single man built the entire atomic energy establishment of India. Vikram Sarabhai, single man built the entire ISRO for what we are today. If you see the size of the rocket which they built first, you know how big it was? आपके साइकिल के पीछे आप लगा सकते हैं, इतना छोटा रॉकेट था, which Vikram Sarabhai first built, which was used for the first trials when the Indian rockets were being fired. Today, we have the world's largest rockets. Many countries come to us to launch their satellites. India has the expertise to launch 20, 30 satellites at the same time. Same rocket, but several satellites going out in several trajectories at different instant of time. So one man, one woman can make a lot of difference. Look at what Kiran Shaw has done to the biotech industry in India. A lady industrialist, she works out of Bangalore. Or look at the lady, Leela Seth, first woman High Court Chief Justice, Delhi High Court. She was the first lady. Read her biography, how she was asked, she was interviewed. Probably it is there today's paper I was reading, something has come out. When she went for her law, this thing, that I think you are a lady, you should first get married. And she said, I'm already married. Then she said, if you are married, you should have a child. She said, I already have a child. Then she was told, if you have one child, he will be lonely, have second child. She said, I have two boys. I think she said that. And then that person said, I think you can argue well, you are fit for law, so enter. You can be my junior. He was a senior lawyer who was interviewing her to be a junior intern in his office. Senior lawyers have interns. That's how you learn in the law profession, right? So that was her journey, and she has written and talked about it. So every person can make it big if he or she has the confidence and commitment to do well. There are no force which can stop you. It's only you can stop yourself. Also, there is no competition bigger than you. Don't think I have to be bigger than X, Y, Z. You have to be bigger than yourself. What you were yesterday, tomorrow you should be better than yesterday. Day after tomorrow, you should be better than. So I have to always tell whether I am better than what I was yesterday. Am I doing things today which 5 years back I was not doing? That means, am I doing better things? And like that, we grow in life. Otherwise, what is life? Few degrees. I'm a BSc, MSc, PhD. Okay, I went to US. That's not. Every day is a new day. Every day you must do something different. Try to do different. Every day you must kind of learn. I learn by interacting with students. That's why I never turn down an opportunity to interact with young students. We keep ourselves young with young people. Never we. That's what I tell. Remind yourself a great day every man. Never complain. Be positive. Because this is the day given to you. If you don't make use of it, it will go away. Right? And never have friends who are complaining. You should have friends who are positive. Don't have friends ki aaj ये नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि ये नहीं है, कॉपी नहीं है तो क्लास नहीं जाएंगे, पेन नहीं है. You should be with friends कि आज चलो इस वीकेंड में 20 किलोमीटर मैराथन दौड़ेंगे या 20 किलोमीटर साइकिल रेस करेंगे, right? Or we will go and help some slum children to read something. Okay, make it your passion to teach one young person or to help somebody. That should be the minimal in your life. After all, why are you alive? What is the contribution? Why you will go away one day? Nobody will remember. Even great people are there somewhere, one street name comes with very, very great people, right? Otherwise, nobody will know you other than your parents after you pass away. So do something impactful, do something good for your class, college, society, right? Take up a positive things and always be enjoy, be humorous, laugh, right? Have good friends. Friends are very nice. Okay. All the best. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a wonderful lecture it was. Society lives by faith, but develops by science. A heartily good afternoon to all. I, Dakshina Singh, final year student of industrial chemistry, would like to take over the event. And once again, I would like to thank Professor A.K. Ganguli sir for delivering such a great lecture. I hope all the students have developed a true and a clear understanding of what science has actually done for the society. We all are grateful to you, sir, for sparing your valuable time for our participants. Now, moving further on to the event, once again, I would like to remind you all that the link for the feedback form has been posted in the chat window. Everyone is requested to fill it in order to receive an e-certificate. And now, with due respect and honor, I would like to invite Ma'am Dr. Vishali Thakral to take up the questionnaire session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dakshina. So first of all, thank you so much, sir, for your motivation. And thank you for making us realize to thank for whatever we have around us. So it's not just for we as teachers, it's for students, it's for every common man. We really need to thank all the people, all the researchers, all the scientists to make our life easier. They've done so much for us. So, sir, as you already mentioned that you give 10 on 10 to the students who asked questions. So we have certain questions for you. So one question is from Palak. She says, so why don't we have any subject or book for covering these encouraging stories behind the discoveries, like in schools itself, rather than, just a mention of discovery, so that, from the very, from the very young age, the students are motivated.
Yeah. See, books are available. Actually, very cheap books. The government of India also makes through Vigyan Prasar. Vigyan Prasar is an arm of Department of Science and Technology. And if you go to their website, you can buy books for 200 rupees, 300 rupees, both in English and Hindi. I'm sure they may be there in other languages also, but I have seen in Hindi and English. For example, Michael Faraday, I told you, his story is captured by them, and it is called The Story of a Candle, because Michael Faraday had a great idea that I will never speak more than 1 hour. So he had designed a candle. The candle will burn for 1 hour and he will speak exactly 1 hour. His concept was, which I have not followed. We have gone more than 1 hour. He said 1 hour is our mind gets saturated. So I will speak only 1 hour. Of course, our talk was not more or less talk. It was like a discussion. But a heavy talk should never be more than 1 hour. And then he talks of many things. So Michael Faraday's life, or Einstein's life, or all that, those who are interested will see that many of the teachers will have those biographies in their house and all. Everything is available. But one thing is true, that probably in our classrooms, in some classes, some things are maybe taught in some history books, sometimes in chemistry books, somebody like Lavoisier may come into the story. Things may be there like that. I remember in 11, 12 books, once upon a time, some subject will be there. On the right hand side, there will be a story, maybe a picture and few lines about the person who gave that theory, say G.N. Lewis or Linus Pauling or something. But you are true, more of that has to be done at regular things like you are doing today. These kind of things can be done at regular intervals. That's what I do when I go to, you see, my talk is never very heavy with science. I talk of very simple things to school children, college children. Because the idea is, once you get interested and fascinated by something, difficult things you will solve by reading, asking, talking. but your interest has to come. Like many times I've been told by students that, sir, ऐसे करके अगर कोई chemistry पढ़ाता तो हम भी chemistry करते. So I have been told that. So when I go to some rural schools in, say, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, I've traveled all those states. So then people say that. So sometimes it's also a method of delivery. That's the difference between how we should not make it too heavy for anybody. First, the person needs to get interested. So आप पहले दुकान के बाहर ही लिख दो कि भाई बर्गर 500 रुपए का है तो कोई घुसेगा नहीं ना. पहले आपको दिखाना बर्गर बहुत अच्छा देखने में है, खाने में अच्छा है, तब आप अंदर जाओगे and you will pay. So you have to tell few things which catches the imagination of the student or the colleague you are talking. Then you can slowly get into deeper. So I skimmed, say, for example, astrophysics. It's a very deep subject today. But I only told you a little bit about Galileo and telescope and maybe Milky Way and all that. But so many, once somebody is interested in physics of space, he can do so many, or chemistry of space. Astrochemistry is a huge subject. What are the molecules being formed in stars, in space, etc.? How many years hydrogen took in space? That's a whole story. After how many years of the Big Bang, hydrogen came into the atmosphere. So many stories are there, people have written. Some of the things, of course, are in international literature. So very expensive books may be there where more detailing is there. But in at least the books which are available in Indian currency by Vigyan Prasar or CSIR also has their communication arm. Indian Academy of Sciences, National Academy of Sciences. There also you will get some books which are at a very cheaper cost for Indian readers.
Thank you, sir. Sir, so next question is from our faculty, Deepti Gupta. She says, respected sir, today's youth is running after glamour and money. In that scenario, how can they be more encouraged to pursue career in basic sciences?
Yeah, so the thing is, see, glamour and career everybody needs, because after the persons are running after something which will sustain them in life. तो पहले आपको तो रोटी कपड़ा चाहिए ना, then only you can think of aesthetic sense. If you go back in history, most of the researchers came either from very rich families, because उनको पैसे का चिंता नहीं था, खाना घर में मिल रहा था. So Galileo and most of them, except few like C.V. Raman and all, Ramanujam, were not very from rich families, but they were working double, right? And they were kind of made up for their interest in science by putting up extra hours. They were doing some work which will giving them some salary, like Raman was working, but he was doing his science all for free. That means in the evenings, in a house which was given by a industrialist of those days in Calcutta. Yeah, so how to stop is, you must, two things you have to try to imbibe in younger people. It is difficult because they are at a pace where distractions are too much, and they don't, it is difficult for you to explain, look, this distraction is a temporary thing. What you have to look at a bigger picture, at a long-term picture, where you will be 30 years from now. So glamour is good. If you want to become an actress, fine. If you want to become an actor, fine. You take that profession seriously. Become somebody like Nasiruddin Shah or somebody like Shavana. If you have a like or Neena Gupta or somebody who are very professional, and or become a Shekhar Kapoor, like a director. I think Shekhar Kapoor, if I'm right. So you can become like that. That also, if you do well, you will both be satisfied because you want to make movies. Also, you will make money if you do good. Shekhar Kapoor has made movies like Bandit Queen and all. He went to Hollywood and all that. He got awards at international fora, right? So anything creative is good. If you have artist, you have to take passion. Art is a passion, work hours and all. If you take music, read the background of Amjad Ali Khan or Ravi Shankar, how many hours they used to practice, what time they used to wake up, and how many hours they will get 1 hour break, again do practice and all that. So 1 second, I need to take, there's some urgent call looks like.
No problem, sir.
Okay. I have to leave quickly. Yeah, quick, 1 or 2 questions. Yeah.
Sir, maybe just last question. Sir, how can a common man contribute in managing waste at home? Using some basic scientific knowledge.
First is don't buy things if you don't need. That's first thing. मतलब अलमारी खोलने से कपड़े आपके ऊपर गिर रहे हैं तो मतलब बहुत ज्यादा हो गए, लोगों को बांटो. So every year I donate lot of clothes. If I make sure that if I get 4 shirts this year, I should give away 5 shirts. That only balance रखना है. And I am one person like that. I keep very little. Something I have not worn for 1 year, I immediately put it in a basket. वो अगले दिन किसी को मैं दान कराता हूँ. So if I have not worn something for 1 year, वो मैं फिर नहीं पहनूंगा. It's not worth it. Same thing is with shoes and something like that. So give it to somebody who is more needy and all. We have in IIT we have a system. We can go and drop those things, and this is part of NSS of IIT, and then they give it across. So my philosophy is if I don't wear something, I don't keep it. That's one thing. Keep minimum things. This I learned from an American guy. He said, before buying, I asked myself 3 times, do I really need this? And then most of the time I said, no, I don't. I can live without this also. And I don't buy. So don't buy. Don't get too much materials unnecessarily. Jam your house and jam your place. We are most of the time using very few things. We are satisfied with very, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Over to Dakshina.
Thank you, ma'am, for helping us put up such questions. And thank you, sir, again, for clearing the doubts of the participants. Towards the end, with utmost respect and gratitude, I would like to turn the time to Ma'am Dr. Namita Gandhi, Coordinator, Department of Chemistry, DBT Star College Scheme, to give the formal vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am. Namita, ma'am. Ma'am, you there?
Robin, please unmute her.
Thank you. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks formally to this second lecture in the motivational lecture series. I extend a hearty vote of thanks to our eminent speaker of today, Professor A.K. Ganguli, who spared his valuable time to enlighten us all. Sir, in your motivating lecture, you talked about rationalizing thinking, prioritizing work, observation, curiosity, and dedication. Quoting Stephen Hawking, who is an epitome of inspiration, you talked of challenges of life and need to keep your cool and pursue your aim and enjoy. Talking of microwave, internet, GPS, photocopier, maglev trains, and gecko tape, the lecture was a tribute to our scientists who worked and are continuously working to make life easier for all of us. It has brought us a lot of wonders, but though people quote of many disadvantages as well, but fault lies in the intention of man to abuse the discoveries of science. Sir, had it been an offline event, we would have honored you personally. As a special regard, we wish to honor you with a certificate of appreciation for imparting us your valuable insights. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Also, sir, as a humble gesture, we present you a memento for being a speaker today. And we would be sending you the hard copy of the same, and Dr. Umesh will arrange for that. I also express my gratitude to our Vice Principal, Professor Kamal Kumar Gupta, for gracing the occasion and encouraging us with his words of wisdom. Thanks are also due to IQAC coordinator, Dr. Aditya Saxena, and Dr. I.K. Singh, coordinator, DBT Star College Scheme, for supporting our efforts. Special thanks to our teacher in charge, Professor Devnandan Kumar, for being with us and guiding our team to make this event run smoothly. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling weeks ago, and it requires planning and detailing. I congratulate and thank Dr. Ramesh Kumar, program convener, for being the catalyst for the event. We had been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very proactive faculty members, Dr. Vaishali Thakral, Dr. Bhavani Shankar, Dr. Seema Lal, Dr. Robin Kumar, and Dr. Ashwani Singh. And student coordinators, Palak Pal, Dakshina Singh, Atulya Rajvanshi, Palak Bhatt, Zoya Musarraf, and Nidhi Kumari. With a deep sense of appreciation, I thank all our students, faculty members of the department, and other departments of the college for being an enthusiastic audience. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for such lovely words. And thank you, Sir Professor A.K. Ganguli, for imparting your knowledge with all of us. Now, I hope that all of you might have filled the feedback form and have participated enthusiastically. To go through this amazing lecture once again, you can visit the Deshbandhu College YouTube channel and also follow us on our other social media platforms as well to get the notifications for the future events of the motivational lecture series. Once again, I thank you all for joining. Hope to see you soon. Till then, stay safe and have a great day ahead. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Can you send me the link of your website? Okay.
Sure, sir. Yes, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Those who have not